You can really add some interesting effects to your document using type, and we're going to explore how we can create type layers and format those type layers in Photoshop. Well, to get started, I'm going to use my type tool. There's actually quite a few different tools that are related to type, and the most common one, of course, is just a horizontal type tool here. I'm going to reset all my tools just in case I might have had some different types of settings. And if I take a closer look, I can actually make some changes to my type before I even get started. I can choose the font that I want to work with. I can choose the font's type. Some fonts are going to have a lot of options and some won't. Just depends on what fonts you have installed. So they might have just regular, or there might be things like bold and bold italic. Let's go ahead and look for one called Arial, and I'll notice some different options. How about Arial Black? I can choose the style that I want, or the size I want rather, and I can even make some other changes in here, some alignment, as well as the color change. In fact, for the color, let's see if I can pick up that color that's right there, picks up that blue, or I can even just go ahead and pick up a blue that's being used somewhere in my document. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and click. And the great way to create type, especially if you're going to do one line, is to simply click. Not click and drag, just do a quick click. And automatically a type layer is created. You might notice down the bottom where I have my type layer, it's created. I can just start typing some information. It doesn't quite fit, but that's okay. I can actually use my arrows and just press the Enter key, and I've got a new line in there. I can even go ahead and select everything, Control A, just to select all the text and make it selected. Now I can actually move and edit stuff with my type tool still selected, but I like to get in the habit of, after I do my basic selecting, is to go back to the Move tool, and that just solidifies the text. It just puts it into place so that I can move it all as one unit. Notice the type tool, or the type layer rather, is still active, and I can position it any place I want. And if I go ahead and return to my type tool, I can still edit. And when I edit, I don't actually have to have my cursor placed anywhere. It's going to make changes to the entire area. Here's something kind of dramatic. I'll just change the color. An entire element is going to change. Oh, let's try that one more time. There we go. Got to make sure I actually click on the color. And there it goes. Now, if I wanted to change just a part of it, like just the W, for example, I would need to go in and highlight it, again with the type tool, and then when I made a change, it's going to change just that letter. So if no letters are selected, just the layer itself, you're making a change to the entire element. If all of the text is selected, you're making a change to the entire element, but if you have just one letter selected, you can affect it. Same would be true for the font itself. I could go in and make some changes. And because I have this blue border around the font, I could actually just use my down arrow and cycle through some different fonts until I found one that I liked. And I think I kind of like the one that I just passed over here. There. It's kind of a fun one. So anyway, you can just explore and see what you like in there. And you can also do the same thing with your fonts and make some changes. A trick that I like with fonts as well, this isn't just a Photoshop trick, but it's a really handy one, is that you can go ahead and resize stuff using your Control and your Shift and your greater than or less than symbol. So Control Shift greater than is going to make it bigger, Control Shift less than makes it smaller. And actually try that out in other products like Word or your email, and you'll be amazed that it's another way of resizing your text in those tools. Now, this is actually vector-based, and so I can still manage it and maintain it as if these are equations and shapes. It's not going to be converted until the very end, which means I could do some things like warping it. I'm going to go ahead and click on my tool and just notice there's some options for creating warp text, and I could go in and make some other changes for transforming. So lots of ideas as well. Now, if I want to add another type layer, I'm going to go back to my type tool, and I'm going to go ahead and click. And the key here is where you click. If you click in a blank area, or basically somewhere that's not text, you can start by creating a new type layer. And it just happens to be the stacking order, so I'm going to change that stacking order up higher. This is new text. Go back to my type tool. But if I click near an existing type layer, I'm going to be placing my cursor so that I can make changes to it. So that's really the key, is where are you clicking? Are you clicking in a blank area or are you clicking in a new layer? Always use the move tool so you can go back and position it and resize it. And now just for fun, we have, in addition to horizontal, we can also do vertical type. This is where you can create some text that will be vertical, about something like Paris. Vertical effect. Switch to my type tool, change the color to something that will pop out. Actually, white would be really good. Right there, pops out right against the text. And actually, on the type tool itself, we have a way to move back and forth. So you can always convert text to a vertical or a horizontal after the fact. So those are your ways to create a quick line of text, do some formatting for it, and then also to position it vertically or horizontally somewhere on your screen.